We're only one chapter into the new arc, and already someone has stepped on a Lego. It did not take long to actually have that happen. Quite interesting when you really think about it. Also, does that mean Legos are canon in One Piece now? Because I mean, we've had art in the back, back in a few chapters, not a few chapters, like over 400 chapters ago. A long time ago, we had a color spread of the Straw Hat Crew using Legos, and I'm sure we've had other Lego artworks and stuff that Oda's done in the past. But long story short, we got Legos, and someone has already been injured, but I'll get to that in a moment. Hello, Internet. I am the hero of Julios once again with another One Piece chapter summary. This week's chapter is chapter 1127, Adventure in the Land of Mystery. You see, personally, I believe an arc starts when we have that Adventure in X title. So this is the first official Elbaf chapter. Whether you want to argue that the chapter before this one was or wasn't part of Elbaf, I mean, the greater community will decide altogether. But I personally feel like when Oda says adventure in somewhere, that's his way of saying we are officially at this location. Now, the Land of Mystery could be anywhere. It doesn't have to just be Elbaf. I mean, for all we know, the Straw Hat Crew might still be hallucinating. But we'll get into that as well in a moment. The artwork for this week's chapter is a continuation of Yamato's pilgrimage, where Yamato and Inuarashi, the new he is now the new daimyo of Kuri, I believe. They are discussing the missing girls and the missing carpenter and, just the problems around. But I've seen people point this out, that every single panel we've had of Yamato's pilgrimage, someone, most of the time Yamato, has been eating. So Luffy made good on his promise, and the important thing to take away from here is that Wano is truly eating as much as they want. So the chapter itself begins with chaos, which, let's be honest, chaos follows the Straw Hat Crew wherever they go. But the chaos this time is a forest is on fire, and these giants are running around. They're panicking because there's smoke coming from the forest. We have to alert the sun god because this fire could get to Yggdrasil, which, for those of you who don't know Norse mythology, Yggdrasil is a very important tree. It's the world tree. It's the tree from which all the other realms come together. But we have to make sure the fire doesn't get to Yggdrasil, because then the whole country is doomed. We have to alert the sun god immediately. The sun god. That's funny, because I don't remember anyone rolling out the red carpet for Luffy. And last I checked, Nika was the... So maybe it's kind of like Skypia, where god is a title rather than a actual person. What's more so, we have even more problems. There's this creature called the Stingmores, which are basically just giant bees. But they've been knocked down. They're being knocked out left and right, and we even see one gets electrified, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is horrible! What is happening to the bees? First the fire, now the bees. Oh, what about that giant thud we heard in the distance? Yeah, it turns out the rabbit god, or the ear god, as it was called, has been slain. Oh my gosh, who could have slain such a titanic rabbit?" And of course, all this chaos can only culminate with one certain individual, which we'll get to in a moment. So, Nami, back to Nami. Nami's in trouble. She just electrified a bee. The bee got back up and she electrified it again because apparently it doesn't stay down. The creatures of Elbaf are as tough as the mighty warriors of Elbaf. So, Nami gets it down after a couple swings, and Zeus is floating around her, and he's like, "Hey, Nami, what's going on? Where are we?" And she's like, "That no time to talk about that, Zeus. We have to find someone because we're in a lot of danger." And Nami goes down a hallway, and she comes face to face with this giant hedgehog, and she's like, "Oh my god, it's huge!" And the hedgehog's like, and then the hedgehog gets angry at her for startling it, as hedgehogs do. It starts chasing her. She's running. She's apologizing. She's calling out for Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. Somebody come. I'll even settle for Usopp at this moment. Well, her prayers are answered. She hears Usopp's voice, and she's like, "Great, backup, wonderful. We survived Onigashima together. Nothing can stop us if me and Usopp get together." She runs over. She looks down from this hallway that's up above, and she sees this giant cat with Usopp in its mouth. as Usopp begs her to save him because, you know, somebody should be saving someone right now. Well, too bad! The hedgehog is catching up to Nami, so Nami turns around, hits him with a maximum Zeus, because remember, Zeus is the power of Charlotte Linlin's soul, so even at his tiny little fractional power, he's still terrifying. So they zap this hedgehog, which causes the entire floor to break, and the hedgehog falls and lands on the cat's head. I completely skipped over my own notes here. I apologize. So, after Nami called for help from, you know, Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, Luffy, she tripped over a Lego and actually commented on why is the ground here so bumpy, which is interesting because if you look at the panels where the giants are panicking about Yggdrasil, the buildings around them seem to be made of Lego as well. What's interesting about that is if the Legos are big enough to be houses for the giants, that means Nami would be so small that she would stand on the Lego. Which means either Nami and subsequently the rest of the crew that we'll get to are somehow, some way the same size as the giants right now, or the giants are all shrunk down for some reason. Oh my gosh, what if that's the reason they can't find Elbaf, is for some reason the entire island of Elbaf has been shrunk? Huh. I don't think that's a possibility, but then again... Or if only the denizens of Elbaf? No, that can't be it. I'll shelve that and put that on my shelf of theories because that's probably not true, but that'd be pretty wild. So after the lightning hedgehog hits the head of the cat, shocks the cat, Nami and Usopp land safely next to each other, and the cat is not happy. It starts chasing them, obviously, because you would too if someone electrocuted you. And as Nami and Usopp are running, they kind of touch base with each other. Nami's like, okay, Usopp, bring me up to speed. What happened to you? And Usopp's, same thing that happened to you, Nami. Got knocked out cold drunk, woke up, and insert animal here started attacking me. Okay, so we're up to date on each other. Awesome. Wait a second. Did you say drunk? Yeah, I said drunk. Could it be that green fairy stuff we drank? And Usopp's like, oh, that's right. They said it could make you hallucinate. This is all a hallucination. So he turns around, looks at the cat, and is just like, ha! This is all just a dream. And the cat hits him so hard he goes through the wall and starts falling. The ground beneath Nami breaks, and Nami falls as well, as the trio, Nami, Usopp, and the cat, all land on the ground, and Nami blacks out for a moment. As she comes to, Usopp's, with her, it's kind of like, after getting hit by a flashbang, they're both kind of groggily getting up, and as they look, they see this giant lion is staring down at them, ready to just chow. But, as the royal decree of the kingdom of Sanji, the first and foremost law is those who make Nami upset shall die. As Ifrit Jambe Sanji starts flying towards, Luffy comes over with his Gear 3rd elephant whip, not gun, so it's his he's using his foot, and Zoro shows up with his 3 swords as this poor lion got the brunt of the monster trio. I feel bad for even the pacifista all the way back in Sabaody. I feel bad for any enemy that has to take on these 3 at the same time, be it an elite government warship funded pacifista or just a really dumb giant cat that doesn't know better. You're completely lost if these 3 are fighting you at the same time. I can't honestly, if Sanji had been there on the roof of Onigashima and Lin hadn't been there, I'm pretty sure Kaido would have lost to those 3. If I'm being honest, I really would put money, maybe not before Luffy went Gear 5, but definitely after obtaining his Gear 5th. Getting this crew separated is one of the most important parts to fighting them, because they are just this terrifying together. So, now that they're back together, the 5 of them, this giant cat's defeated, and Zoro's like, man, that was pretty wild. Luffy's like, turned into a cat. That's kind of weird. I thought it was a lion. That's fine. I'm not really hungry anyways. I'm full from that delicious grilled rabbit we had. We should go find some more animals like that. And Zoro goes, no, the first and foremost, most important thing we need to do is we need to find the rest of the crew. Well done, first mate. That's actually a very sensible decision from Zoro. Maybe Zoro's hallucinating. And finally, Sanji says, well, whatever we do for food, we need to go back to that giant hive where we took out all those bees because honey is very nutritious and we need to make sure we stockpile some of that because I'm not exactly sure what kind of food we got around here. Of course, as the three of them are calmly discussing their plans, Nami's crying and is upset with them because, again, why aren't you three normal? And that's pretty much it. I mean, this is a pretty standard par for the course intro to a new island for the Straw Hat crew. Oh my gosh, where are we? Whoa, what's that? Whoa, this thing's pretty crazy. Oh my gosh, Luffy's causing havoc that's destroying both the ecosystem, the ecological system, the economy, and maybe probably someone's house. Probably. It's pretty par for the course, and I'm sure the chaos ensuing afterwards will be as hilarious, heartbreaking, and wonderful as every other arc we've had. But that's kind of it. Really no new theories here, except maybe that theory about the Straw Hat crew being embiggened or the giants of the Elbaf being shrunken. It doesn't seem like the crew is stuck inside of a toy house if, the Legos that we saw around the other giants are to be believed. But, yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think of what's going on, because, once again, we have reached a chapter where we have had nothing but questions and not a single answer. And that is the great mystery of One Piece. Thank you for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Helios, Xing out.